about a happened at a speedway track called Hanford. This was some years ago, and there was a promoter named F.R. Miller. F.R. Miller, and he was a good promoter. He was a little guy. He was an old guy. He had passed away now, but he had this track called Hanford Speedway in Central California, in the beautiful city of Hanford, just north of Bakersfield, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the cow pastures, I think. And he used to come and watch me race and other Southern California racers race at the Santa Ana Bowl, Costa Mesa, and stuff. And F.R. Miller really liked the Southern California riders. And he invited us up to race. And he went ahead and had a different kind of track. He prepared a very tacky track, very sticky, lots of dirt. And it was not the type of track we were used to riding in Southern California. So we went up there and we didn't do particularly that well in this track. They had these local riders like Grant Sawyers and this guy named Martin. They were pro riders at that track. Nobody could beat them. So we went ahead and we went up there one night and I didn't do that well actually at the Hanford Raceway because of the track. It was very tacky and I wasn't really a good tacky track rider. And this one guy, I don't even know his name. He's a writer. He came up to me and he was like teasing me. He was like, "You're no good." And I go, "Oh, just, mind your own business, guy." And he kept teasing me and he kept teasing me and he kept bothering me. He kept making trouble for me. And I just told him, dude, like, shut your mouth, you know. And then he kept bothering me. I go, dude, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to have to take you out when we race. And he just kept laughing at me, telling me how bad a rider I was and stuff like that. So I had him like in the second race, my second race of the night. And I told the guy, this is your last chance. If you don't shut your mouth, you're trapped, you're pie hole, I'm going to take you out, dude. And then he was like, ha ha ha, you think you're funny, you think you're good. I can beat you anytime. And I go, dude, I'm taking you out. I never did that before in my life. Even to today, I've never taken a rider out. However, this guy was asking for it. And the race started. I had the pole, and he had number two, I think it was, lane two. And we went to the first turn, and I just went right into the guy, and I just drove him right into the wall. And I crashed him heavy. And then the race was red flagged, and the ambulance came out, and the guy went to the hospital with a severely broken leg. And I was like, that guy, he's asking for it. And he never messed with me again. I normally am a clean rider, but this is the one incident that like, got me crazy. And I said, dude, this is your last chance. If you don't shut up, I'm going to take you out. And I never hurt people and I never take someone out. But this time I did take that guy out and I forgot his name. I never saw him again. And after the races, we were there and a bunch of little kids were teasing us too from Hanford. And I was like to the guys, like, shut up. And they kept like teasing us. And Brad Oxley was a young rider too. You know Brad Oxley, the promoter, Costa Mesa. We kind of grew up racing together. And Brad was there also. And Brad was getting teased. And he was driving this big Speedway van, the one for the national championship. And the kids kept teasing us. And this place had some weird people in there. They were like big mouths. And I told Brad, I go, dude, just run those kids. He had the bicycles, these little bicycles. I said, Brad, just run those guys' bicycles over and shut them up. So Brad was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So Brad got in the big United States Speedway National Championship van. He just rode those bicycles back and forth over, and they were crushed like a pancake. And the kids were crying. And I said to the guys, see, you should not tease the wrong people, right? And then they were very upset, and Brad was laughing, and I was kind of laughing. We went away, but this F.R. Miller guy, he prepared this track so we couldn't ride it, and his riders were stars at this track. They were like winning everything, and us Southern California guys, we didn't fare very well at that track. But if those guys came to our track, we would like club them heavily. But the Hanford Speedway was a crazy place. It was like a D2 track. high-level D2 riders, a few D1 riders went there and raced and got their beginnings. And it was kind of an interesting place. It was far away from our house. And I didn't really like going up there, especially with that track. And the promoter, F.R. Miller, was a little, I think he was like a homosexual guy because he kept chasing me and saying, I like you, Brian. And I'm like, dude, I don't like guys, okay? I'm not into old men like 80 years old, okay? And I'm not into guys, so, back off. So he kind of got mad at me because he was kind of acting fruity around me. And I told the guy, I'm a speedway rider and I'm just not into what you guys are doing here. So I didn't go back very much and race at that track. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but it was an experience, and I'll never forget that guy. I just ran him into the wall. I totally smashed that guy. And I warned him like 5 times. I go, dude, if you mess with me, I'm going to take you out because I never act that way. But he was just being crazy. He was like teasing and laughing and just being a total jerk. Anyways, I went ahead and took care of that guy. And he probably never got on a speedway bike again. But I'm not proud of that experience because I'm a clean rider when I ride motorcycles and I never hurt people. But on this one instance, I said, dude, I'm taking you out. And I totally took that guy out. I mean, I dusted this guy. But that's it from Hanford Speedway Stories. The guy, F.R. Miller, he bought my JAP Speedway bike years later, and it's in a museum now. It's somewhere in California. They went ahead and painted it yellow and red and made it look all pretty and chrome. And my bike was a race bike. It was ugly and dirty, and it was a race bike. It was a JAP, and it was fast. I had a tuner, Jerry Fairchild, that tuned that bike, and it was just a ripper. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, watching this live stream about Hanford Speedway, the beautiful city, not so beautiful, of Hanford. It was an ugly place there, and it's dry, and it was like a cow pasture, and there was lots of flies, and you drive for many hours, and you go to this place, and it was just an ugly place. And I didn't like that. And it wasn't worth the drive. But one time we went to Yosemite after that race. It's very far up Northern California. And I went with my friend Ernie Rocio, the nephew of the great late Ernie Rocio. And we went up there and had a good time at Yosemite after the races. It was very far. But anyways, that was it for Hanford. We appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging out on this live stream talking about Hanford, the beautiful city. I'm a liar of Hanford. Take care, and we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna talk to you next time. Take care. Have a great day.